You're supposed to say, we're important. You're supposed to say, it's all going to be all right. And you're supposed to say, whatever you dream can come true. And you're supposed to say all those things. I don't believe that any of it matters.
There's no meaning to any of this. So I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is.
Everything is divine. There's no thing that isn't divine. Everything is divine, and I'm that. I'm not the body. I'm you guys, and I'm this thing, and I'm this thing, and I'm the cameras, and it doesn't matter to me what's happening on them.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
This is the good news.
Okay.
I'm dead.
Jim Carrey just walked onto a stage in Paris, and the internet lost its mind. When he appeared at the 2026 César Awards, people didn't see a Hollywood legend. They saw someone they didn't recognize. The hair was darker, the face looked softer, the eyes seemed lighter under the lights. Within minutes, comment sections were flooded with the same question. What happened to him? Online speculation exploded with claims that the real Jim Carrey was gone, replaced, swapped. But here's the thing. What if nothing supernatural happened, and something far more unsettling did? Because this didn't start in Paris. This started almost a decade ago, the moment Jim Carrey publicly said something that most celebrities would never dare to say.
They're all characters that I play, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character because I thought he was just building something that people would like. But it was a character.
There's no meaning to any of this, so I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join, and here I am. Do you believe in icons? I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist.
Because there is no me, no self. Jim Carrey is gone, actually never existed, and I know that now.
Back in 2017, Jim Carrey stepped onto a red carpet and gave an interview that instantly went viral. Instead of promoting a project, he dismantled his own identity. He said Jim Carrey wasn't real. He described himself as a cluster of molecules dancing together, a character, a construction, a mask. To some, it sounded profound. To others, it looked like a breakdown. But that moment planted a seed. Because when someone rejects their own persona, especially someone as iconic as Jim Carrey, it shakes people. Audiences don't just enjoy celebrities. They build attachments to them. They freeze them in time. And Jim shattered that frozen image in real time. But this wasn't random. It wasn't sudden. It wasn't chaos. It was philosophy. Long before the viral interviews, Jim Carrey had been openly interested in existentialism, non-duality, and the idea of ego death. He spoke about consciousness, about the illusion of identity, about how Jim Carrey was something he built to survive Hollywood. That's not conspiracy. That's documented. In multiple interviews over the years, he questioned the nature of self. He talked about transcending ego, about detaching from the character the public expected him to be.
It's been part of the evolution of ego is to spend your first half of your life acquiring and adding, thinking you can add to yourself, and it looks great. I mean, it looks great when you got a cool car and you got good, nice clothes, and and you've done something that people admire, but it can never fulfill you. You can never be happy. You know what I mean? It's not where happiness comes from.
Fast forward to 2026. He walks into the César Awards in Paris. The cameras zoom in and social media explodes. His jaw looks different. His face is softer. His eyes look lighter. But here's something most people don't realize. Human beings are incredibly sensitive to facial familiarity. Even subtle changes, lighting, weight fluctuation, facial hair, cosmetic tweaks, can make someone appear dramatically different. Our brains are wired to recognize patterns. When those patterns shift even slightly, it creates cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance makes people uncomfortable. Instead of saying he aged or he changed his style, the brain reaches for a bigger explanation, something dramatic, something cinematic. That's how replacement narratives are born, not from evidence, from discomfort. But that discomfort didn't happen in a vacuum. Jim Carrey practically invited interpretation. Over the past decade, he's leaned into symbolism, into abstraction, into statements that blur the line between performance and sincerity. When he joked about secret symbols on late-night television, people clipped it out of context.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
For years now, talk show hosts, people on television, people in sitcoms have been hired by the government to throw you off the track, to distract you, to make you laugh and stuff like that, make you happy and docile so you don't know what's really going on. You know, and they get out there in the woods in a circle naked and they decide these things.
But here's the deeper layer. Jim Carrey built his entire career on transformation. Think about it. He disappears into characters, and over time, something strange happened. The character of Jim Carrey became the most demanding role of all, the hyper-energetic comedian, the rubber-faced chaos machine, the eternal 90s icon. But people don't stay frozen in their 30s forever. When Jim stepped back from that version of himself, it felt like a death to the audience. Not because he disappeared, but because he stopped performing the version they remembered. And that distinction matters. There's also something else happening here, something bigger than Jim. Hollywood reinvention culture. Actors shift images all the time. They gain weight for roles, lose weight, grow beards, shave their heads, get subtle procedures, change wardrobes, alter posture. But when an actor has a face as expressive and iconic as Jim Carrey's, even minor adjustments feel amplified, and aging itself changes facial structure. Fat distribution shifts, skin elasticity changes, jaw lines soften, cheekbones appear different under new lighting or styling. Combine that with modern camera lenses, high-definition lighting, and viral zoomed-in screenshots, and you have the perfect storm. But none of that is as emotionally compelling as a theory, and the internet loves a theory.
I just, you know, there's no meaning to any of this. I mean, you gotta admit it's completely meaningless.
They say they're celebrating icons inside.
Celebrating
Do you believe in
icons, boy, that is just the absolute lowest aiming. You know, I don't believe in personalities. I don't believe that you exist, but there is a wonderful fragrance in the air. On the good foot! Ha! You shut it down now. Yeah, no, I don't believe in icons. I believe that peace lies beyond personality, beyond the red S that you wear on your chest that makes bullets bounce off. And I don't care.
But Jim, you got really dressed up for the occasion. You look good.
No, I didn't
that
get
an
dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me. Here's the
Uplifting.
thing. It's not our world.
None
That's
of this
the
is
key.
real?
Nope.
So
Nope.
you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Oh, wow.
There's the good news.
Now let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, it's possible he's had cosmetic work. Many actors do. It's common in Hollywood. Subtle procedures, injectables, skin treatments. None of that is shocking in 2026. But cosmetic adjustments don't equal cloning. They don't equal replacement. They equal maintenance in an industry obsessed with youth. And ironically, the same audience that pressures celebrities to look young often criticizes them when they try. And then there's The Truman Show. People love referencing it now, saying it predicted something, that it was symbolic, that it meant more. But maybe the connection is simpler. In that film, Truman realizes his life is constructed. In real life, Jim Carrey realized his identity was constructed. The parallel is poetic, not prophetic. And when art mirrors life, people start seeing patterns everywhere. Patterns feel intentional, even when they aren't. So what actually happened at the César Awards? A 60-plus-year-old actor showed up looking different than he did in his 40s. He spoke thoughtfully, calmly, intentionally. And the internet, conditioned for drama, decided it must mean something bigger. But maybe the truth is less cinematic and more human. Maybe Jim Carrey didn't disappear. Maybe he stopped performing the version of himself that made everyone comfortable. If someone spends their entire life playing characters and then decides to drop the mask, are they becoming someone new, or are they finally becoming themselves? The version of Jim Carrey from the 90s isn't gone. He's archived in films, in interviews, in cultural memory. But the man standing in Paris in 2026, that's just the next chapter. And maybe the real reason it unsettles people is because it forces us to confront something we avoid. Everyone changes, even icons, especially icons. And when they do, it reveals more about us than it does about them. So the question isn't whether Jim Carrey transformed. The question is why we're so disturbed when he does. Because maybe the only thing that truly disappeared was the version we refused to let grow. And that might be the most human story of all. Or maybe not.